Alright, hi guys, Rilhon here, welcome back to another video. So, with the new THG Alpha finally being released here, and with the Titanic anniversary just around the corner, or actually happening right now, I thought it would be fun to look through all of THG's old demos to see how far they've come, and see what changed over the years. I thought it would be pretty cool. I've checked out their demo for one on stream before, but I haven't actually checked out their earlier demos. I did play them a long time ago, but it's been a while now, so I'm very curious to see how much has changed. I know this first demo was very small, which is fair, because it's just a demo, but it's gonna be very interesting. Info. Okay, there's some stuff there. Let's start. I think this is just like the D-deck grand staircase maybe, and like some of the decks below. So we are here in the boarding entrances on D-deck. You can immediately tell how much this looks like Virtual Sailor, like Kyle's old models. I love it because it's so retro, and it's so nostalgic at the same time. It's really cool, I love it. And like the models still hold up. I think it is the same the models as they use these days, but they have been, I think, polished a bit over the years. I think the ceiling has been updated. Although I could be wrong. Should we have the text boxes? Sure. Through these doors, wait, can we disable them? How did we do that? Shift plus I. Okay. It was, oh yeah, I pressed T, that's black and white mode. I wish they would add that back to the new demos. That's such a cool feature. But yeah, we are here on D-deck in the boarding entrances. Also this door opens when I get close to it. Or these doors rather. Through these doors, first class passengers boarded the Titanic at Southampton. These doors were opened by Second Officer Lighthorner during the sinking with the intention of loading lifeboats through them. However, no lifeboats rowed to them, and they only hastened the flooding. Yeah. And I believe you can see on the wreck that it's this door here that's open, or these two doors. So, let's have a look here. So on Olympic, this area was a little bit different. First of all, these vestibules here, they were actually square. On Titanic, they had this L shape to them. But on Olympic originally, they extended out to about here. And then this was like a separate little area inside here. But it was opened up much more on Titanic. And they were also unpainted wood, they weren't white on Olympic. And yeah, here are the elevators. These three elevators lead to A, B, C, D and E decks. Elevators are out of order. What a shame. That's cool. These were painted like a black or grey color in the inside to like hide the bare steel that was inside. And to kind of like make it, yeah, I don't know. If they were painted white, you would see inside, and I don't think they would like White Star would want that. Is there anything inside here? Oh yeah, here. This way to the first class cabins on D-deck. Yeah, so there's a lot of cabins forward here. First class was mainly forward in the ship, but also in the middle on B and C decks in the form of the very fancy parlor suites, which unfortunately isn't in this demo, but they were added later on in demo for one, some of them at least. And that's the same as on the other side. No, it's not. Through these doors, passengers from the tenders at Cherbourg and Queenstown would board the Titanic. Others would disembark at these locations. The first class Cherbourg tender Nomadic is the last remaining ship built for the White Star Line, and is currently preserved in Belfast, Northern Ireland. And she would also be serviced by the Traffic, which was the running mate of the Nomadic. She was sadly sunk during World War II, Probably raised. I believe it on. I think we do know that she was raised, but she was scrapped very shortly after that. I seem to recall a little bit of a surprise here. So, yep, there we go. Got some sparks. Also, there basically appears to be some doors or like covers, shutters over these. Electrical distribution panel. Panels like this and others around the ship control the flow of electricity to lighting and other circuits. Shock risk, do not touch. Well, I seem to have done it. There's like a photo on Olympic showing this exact spot. I don't know why they bothered to take a photo of the electrical panel, but they did. So, cool, I guess. They didn't bother to take like a photo of Titanic's grand staircase, but they took a photo of Olympic's electrical panels, so yeah, that's fun. D-Deck's reception room. In this room, first-class passengers would meet before entering the dining saloon for dinner. After dinner, tea and light fare would be served as the orchestra played tunes of the day. Yeah, I love this room. It's very nice, and it's... Is this the first ship, or like Olympic would be the first ship that would have a reception room here? Like a large kind of lounge for the passengers to like gather and meet in before they would enter the dining room, which we can see in just a glimpse of here. Let's see if we can peek inside. You can kind of see a bit here with those iconic tiles. I don't know if she was the first, but she was one of the first, so it's a really cool idea. Aquitania, which was Cunard's answer to the Olympic class, did steal this idea with a reception room and added one in front of her dining room, and that would be a staple for many more ships after that, like Belgian this way to the first class dining saloon. Meals service in the first class dining saloon was included in the price of the first class ticket. Sunday mornings, the room would be used for religious services. The saloon was being set for breakfast during the iceberg collision. You can see that in one of the scenes in A Night to Remember, I remember it's in A Night to Remember, I remember they were setting the tables, and one of the stewards, when the iceberg collision was going, he was like, you will be sent back to Belfast, and like talked about how they probably lost the propeller blade. Who is this here? Is that Matt? I think that's Matt. I can't zoom in this demo, or I can't crouch either. That's a shame. They include photographs of the crew across the ship. Steinway Model B grand piano, one of 6 pianos aboard the Titanic. This is just a gorgeous piano, really, really nicely decorated. Reception room and dining saloon windows are lit at night by linolite fixtures behind the windows. Nice, this is such a cool feature. This was adapted on many other ships, I think before and after, of course. Here's Tom, the then leader of the project. He has since left though and pursues other projects. I don't know if that's the way you say it, but yeah. D-Deck. Passengers are requested not to smoke in this room until after luncheon. I wonder if that would do much to quell the smell of smoke. Olympic didn't have these brass letters, deck letter signs at first. She had like little hanging signs. But that was changed later. I think in like a first refit. French tapestry woven by Aubusson for the White Star Line, based on a Chassé de Guise series. I am bad at pronouncing non-English things. It's a cool tapestry. Okay, so is there anything else on the other side here? Not any... No, I think that's it. Alright, sorry, I have a cough. We saw that. So let's check out the grand staircase itself. I mean, it speaks for itself, obviously. We all know this staircase. It's beautiful. It's absolutely lovely. Has this beautiful light fixture. And it was also a nice way to distinguish between all the landings. Each landing was different, except for I think B deck and C deck were fairly similar. Except they had the amount of cherubs they held. You can see here. Okay, we can't go up to C deck, but you can see those cherubs or putty, I think they're called, on the sides. They're on C deck, but they weren't there on B deck. So I think that was like a little way to differentiate each of the landings, to have like subtle context clues for the passengers to know which deck they were on. I think that was the idea. This way to C, B, A and boat decks. Locations near the grand staircase on the decks above include Enquiry Office, First Class Lounge, Reading and Writing Room, Gymnasium and Marconi restroom, sorry. I just ate before this, so I'm very gassy. What's gonna do? Oh yeah, the painting here. So this probably wasn't here. It was found that these paintings on Olympic were probably added in the 30s, I think, or at least after the war. So Titanic probably didn't have these, and these were probably like empty painting frames, essentially. So I don't know why they didn't bother to add paintings earlier than that, but yeah, they didn't. Also on this side you can see the Enquiry Office, so that's nice. I think we'll be able to see this in the next demo, maybe, or in demo 3. So we'll see when we can check that out. I can see on this side as well, of course. In that direction were all the fancy suites, and in that direction were the not so fancy regular cabins. So that's all on this deck. So I think our only option is to head down to E deck. So this is where the staircase became considerably less luxurious. Still quite nice, of course. It looked a bit like Megantic and Laurentic staircase, the two early White Star liners, or earlier. They were just a few years before Titanic. This is how their entire staircase looked. Not even this fancy, actually, because they didn't have this fancy, like, ornate brass scrollwork, whatever, on the sides. And yeah, E deck here. This goes to the Scotland Road. We'll check that out in a bit. I just want to take a look here real quick. We have a little hallway leading to some of the cabins. Wait, did I? Yeah, okay. I think we forgot some sign boxes here. Grand Staircase, E deck. This way to the first class cabins and on E deck and Scotland Road. Further down are the bath facilities. Look up. Ah, nice. Such a nice view. I wish you could zoom in. Also, of course, by now it hadn't really been discovered that Titanic's dome wasn't backlit. Since this is at night, we saw outside the windows earlier. This would be very dark. There would be no like light up there. So yeah, that's the thing that the 97 Cameron movie got wrong. Locations in this direction include alternate first/second class cabins and the second class staircase. E28 occupant uncertain, and the same with E29. E27 crew cabin, lady clerk and restaurant cashier. E26 Laura Mabel Francatelli, Secretary to Lady Duff Gordon. And here again all the elevators on this deck. Elevators are out of order, very sad. Locations in this direction include the mail room and first class squash court. Pauline Gibson, Dorothy Winifred, Edward Collerhead, Spencer Silverthorne, John Flynn, James McGough, and Margaret Brown, also known as the unsinkable Molly Brown. So this is very interesting because we know her cabin was here, or it's confirmed by her actually noticing during the sinking that some of crew members, they were working here on this watertight door deck plate to close the watertight doors on the deck below. She peeked her head out to notice these crewmen, and that's how we know that there couldn't really be any other locations on the ship where she could see that happening. So that's a cool little tidbit. Let's do Scotland Road first here. It's very spooky. Scotland Road, named after a street in Liverpool where many crew of the early White Star Line ships lived. Scotland Road is the main access passage for crew and first-class passengers. It ran the length of the ship along the port side, although what is featured in this demo is only a short section near the middle of the ship. Steward's laboratory, saloon waiters, so some noise here from the boiler rooms. Boiler room 4. There's a lot of crew cabins here. Crew berths, second class stewards, drying room, boiler room, Scotland Road forward and first class forward. A change, or a discovery rather, about this room is that the walls were all steel and they had an orange dado across. We know that from similar ships at the time, such as the Belgian Land, which has a photo of this space. She had a similar space. Ash Place, a room used to handle ash from the boiler rooms while in port. 20 crew berths. This way to Scotland Road aft, first class aft, and the turbine and reciprocating engine rooms. Here's another watertight door deck plate. I guess we'll check this out first here. So this is the first class dining saloon. This room is where first class passengers, primarily single men or men traveling in groups, would dine. As a safety precaution, single men were segregated from families, women and children, and were quartered in the forward section of the ship. So they got this aft section, while the women and children got the forward section. I think we can't make it there. Okay, so that section will be accessed from a staircase over there. So yeah, it's a very Spartan room. It's one of the, in my opinion, the lowest point of Olympic. It's very disappointing, honestly. I wish that White Star Line had opted for adding in paneling in this room, like Lusitania, for example. And yeah, just because we that's very fitting. But the Baltic, which was a few years before Titanic, in her first class dining room, they had paneling. So I don't know why they didn't bother doing that here. There is some simple wooden paneling in the stern, I guess, or in the forward with aft end of the room, but why not the sides? Could have looked so nice, but whatever. What's this here? This way to the first class pantry and galley. Okay. This is the New Amsterdam. I really like New Amsterdam. She's a cool ship. She was built for the Holland America line. I believe she was launched in 1905. And also built by Harland and Wolff. Let's check out some of these other ships. So here is the I forgot her name. I'll probably look that up later, but this is for the Atlantic Transport Line. It's a cute ship though. Here is the... anachronism counter. No, never mind. I mixed her up. This is Lapland for the Red Star Line. Here's another Atlantic Transport Line ship. This is one, the Dominion Line. That's Olympic. Oh, beautiful. Olympic again. It's all the same ones. Oh, wait, here. This is... Magantic. We talked about her earlier. I love Magantic and Laurentic. They're so cute. They're so similar to the Olympic class in a way. But they obviously only have one funnel. And they went to Canada. The White Star Canada service. So, yeah. Beautiful ships. Well, this is the Leyland line. Is that Californian? Maybe, I don't know. But Leyland line was owned by the IMM, International Mercantile Marine, which was also the owners of the White Star Line by this point, so they would be owned by the same company. Let's head back inside here. And then head down to the Turkish baths to finish off this tour. So, we are now on F deck, the lowest deck on the ship where first class passengers could go to, pretty much. There's a little corridor over here leading to some crew areas. Female Turkish bath attendants, two assistant second stewards, clothes pressing room, baggage master and squash racket court professional, second steward and Turkish bath attendants. So it's a lot of crew related to the Turkish baths and such. This way to this plunge bath, swimming pool, a watertight door is beyond this door. Grand staircase, F deck. Not super grand anymore if you ask me. F deck is the lowest deck of the grand staircase. There are no first class cabins on this deck, and apart from the floor on the squash court, no first class facilities below this deck. Fan room. So here we have the cooling room. This is the cooling room of the Turkish bath complex. So the idea was there is a hot room, like through this door and that direction you would go into heat up. Then you would progressively cool down in rooms that were lower temperature. So you would have a hot room, a temperate room, and then this cooling room. And then finally maybe you would jump into the swimming pool if you wanted. It's very, you could go either way you wanted, but it was like a weird early spa experience, I guess. Turkish bath cooling room. This richly appointed room is where the passengers would go to cool off after a rigorous bathing process. False portals covered by Cairo curtains, which became leftover decor elements after Titanic's Turkish bath layout was changed over from Olympic's design, this room being moved inboard. Yeah, on Olympic, this room was actually placed further out, actually on the ship's side, so you would actually have natural light streaming through the windows or the portholes. I'm not sure if these were real, like you would actually see through the wall. I don't think they were, because I think James Cameron actually, when he went down to the wreck, and he he ventured into this room, and he had a rover go outside the ship and light things up, and there wasn't any light coming through, so probably not, which is kind of sad. That would have been quite a clever way to light this room up a bit more. IGG.me, Titanic game, campaign ends April 21st, 2015. Those were the days. Please donate to our campaign. Changing stalls in there. But this is definitely the most unique room on the ship. It's very, very striking and quite beautiful if you ask me. If a bit over the top, but it's first class in 1912, obviously it's going to be over the top. And yeah, if you think this is over the top, you wait till you see ships like the 1912 France. That one is a lot. Weighing machine, used by passengers to compare weights before and after a session in the baths to see if they were able to sweat off any weight. Oh, if only it was that simple. Yeah, you also have a little fountain here, as well as some boxes or like lockers where you could put valuables. This way to additional Turkish bath facilities. And there's also this swimming pool, of course, in that direction. Sadly not included in this demo. But yeah, that concludes this video. So hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you in the next one in demo 2. So take care. Bye bye.